It was the most horrific haunting night of my life. It still scares me till this day. I'm 26 years old and I'm visiting my boyfriend out of state. We take turns going back and forth, but I mostly visit him more often because he lives by himself, and I'm still living with my parents. I was heading up there for a few weeks. It was winter break, and I was off because I'm a teacher, so I packed a lot. I was rolling my 1990 Corsica that my dad gave me. There was snow on the ground at this point, so the further north I drove, I had to become more careful because my car wasn't built for driving in the snow, and unfortunately it was starting to snow really hard. There were blizzard warnings earlier, but we both agreed it would be best to beat the blizzard tonight rather than driving while the snow was on the ground. So I started to, except the fact that I needed to pull over for the night because I was still too far away. The roads were getting bad, so I pulled off for a quick bite to eat at a small diner. The waitress was like, "It's no way you should be on the road during this blizzard," and recommended a few hotels in the area. She walked away and I was left alone to finish up my meal. The man sitting at the bar turned his chair around and uttered, "There's a hotel right down the road," so I put it into my phone. It was 5 minutes away. He said, "You can get a good night's rest and get back on the road tomorrow." He really seemed to overhear my whole conversation with the waitress and was also drinking a beer. I'm from the city, so I never saw someone drinking a beer at a diner. I didn't even know they had beer. The man introduced himself as Whitey. I said my name was Brenda, which wasn't true. The rest of the time there, Whitey was half staring at me. I wasn't really looking to avoid talking with him, so I looked outside just to ignore him until she gave me my check. I said goodbye and headed towards the door. That half hour I spent at the diner, the snow accumulated at least an inch. I needed to get to a hotel ASAP. I drove slow. I was at the hotel in a few minutes. There were a few cars on the lot. It looked like a cheap motel, which was all I needed. Didn't need to waste money. Went in, got a room for the night. I paid about $50, got the key. I went outside to get my stuff and bring inside. It was a small little room with a queen-size bed and red carpet. It was good for the night. I tried to FaceTime my guy, but wasn't getting any reception at all here. They have Wi-Fi, but I didn't have the password, so I put my shoes on. I went back to the front desk. On my way there, I noticed a new car in the parking lot. I saw someone sitting inside, but I didn't stare too much because who does that? The man at the desk pointed me to the free Wi-Fi sign password, so I typed it in. It took a minute, but I was connected. I went back to my room super fast, locked the door and got on the phone. Even though the Wi-Fi connection was still bad, I could see his face, but his voice would fade out, and he would freeze frame for a second. But I was able to communicate with him that I was safe in the hotel. We decided to just text instead, because FaceTime wasn't really working. We were texting back and forth for a few minutes, and I heard something come from the bathroom. I leaned forward and realized the bathroom door was shut. Was it shut before? I didn't remember. I texted my guy that I heard something in the bathroom. I started freaking out because I realized I went to the front desk without locking the door. He asked if the door locked by itself. I said, "I don't think so." He said, "Check to see if it did and to take the key with me." I got up, put my shoes on, and saw that the door had a traditional lock that moved with the knob from the inside, or the key on the outside. I'm opening the door, looking to confirm this, but I noticed instantly the extra set of footprints leading to my door. These footprints lead from the car I saw someone sitting in leading to my door, and the car was empty. I felt like screaming, but instead, I ran to the front desk. I told the man, "There's someone in my room." But the front desk guy was small, so I didn't think he wanted any confrontation. He told me to wait in here, then he called someone. I thought he was calling the cops, but instead he started speaking in in some other language. I think he was calling a friend. He hung up and told me to just sit there and hear with him. I was standing in the position where I could see down to my room. I let out a noise when I saw the door to my room open, and that man Whitey from the diner walked to his car. We locked eyes for a second until he got in his car and backed out into the snow, disappearing slowly down the road. The desk worker friend arrived on the scene. Didn't know what they were saying to each other, but said he would give me a new room free of charge to make things right. I didn't feel any better but had no other options, so I took the new key, and the two men helped me move my stuff into the new room. My guy offered to come here, but I told him it's too long and too dangerous to drive in the dark in this snow. The next morning, the streets were somewhat plowed enough to get through the rest of the drive. Looking back, I didn't like how that hotel worker didn't call the cops because he didn't want any negative attention. I called that diner to warn them about that man. I have no trust in strangers anymore, not after this.